This is RadioFire.com. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here as always. So Tuesdays, I sit down with African-American authors, also Hispanic authors too, and chop it up. And we talk about a little bit of everything, but mainly the compositions and books of these authors. So I am very pleased to be joined by, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
Hello, hello. This is author Blaque Diamond.
Blaque Diamond in the house. Okay. All right. It's a very, very interesting name, which I want to talk about how we got there. I have an interesting name too. So my name is Diamond K, and so Diamond. Yeah. So nice to meet you. So where are you from, by the way?
I'm from New York, from Queens, New York.
From where? Queens.
Queens.
Okay. Right. 50 Cent. 50 Cent's house.
50 Cent, Run DMC, Salt and Pepper.
Oh, okay. So, all right, you're official. So, when did you come to Baltimore?
I came to Baltimore right after 9/11.
Okay. Yeah, as you said, I gotta get you do know that we have a very very small building here at the Inner Harbor. It wasn't really like maybe I guess like 20 stories, maybe 15. Just, it wasn't nothing. Yeah. So your family here? Like, why did you?
Yeah, I have family here. Okay. My mother's here, my siblings, and my children are here, and my grandkids.
So did you leave right after the attack?
We left maybe about a month and a half after the attack.
Strictly based on the climate there at that time?
No, we left for a different reason, but it all seemed to have worked out that we left at that time.
Yeah. So where were you when the attacks happened?
I was on my way to work, as a matter of fact, and we saw the smoke, and we just thought it was one of the factories because they have so many factories in that part of Queens, and we didn't think anything of it. And then we started hearing noise and people panicking and phone calls and TVs are going out, the lights were going out. We was like, okay, a blackout, but in September, really? So we got the call that airplane hit the towers, and we knew that it was no joke.
Yeah. That
it was the real thing, and everybody started to disperse, grabbing their children, running to schools, trying to find out where relatives were.
Yeah, it was real. It definitely was. I was working in a record store. My niece is in here. Do you know what a record store is? No? All right, so they had so picture like a place where you could go that's like iTunes, but it's like a building. Sounds crazy, I know. But so I was working at a record store in Mondawmin Mall. And so this day, Jay-Z's Blueprint album came out this same day. And so we were really like, it was going to be a big sale day for us. And so, we opened the store, and so we're selling. So it's like lines of people. And then the attack happens, and they're like, turn the TV on. This is going on. It was crazy. They closed the mall. I just thought it was crazy, like to close everything down so everybody's outside. Right. But if they're going to do something, I didn't think it was going to happen here. This is probably the last place. DC, maybe, but Baltimore, I said, we're good. Yeah, we'll probably be good. And this is how ironic is it that we're so close to 9/11 actually right now.
We just had the anniversary.
Yeah.
15 years.
Does it seem like 15 years?
Yeah. Sometimes it seemed like it was just yesterday. Yeah. I'm here in a different state now, but you remember the family that was lost.
Absolutely.
That was my New York family that was lost.
Absolutely.
It also happened in Washington. So it was family no matter what. No matter where they hit, it was family. It was my American family. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're not gonna do that. Actually, close that for me. The whole thing. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about your background as far as a child. Did you grow up reading a lot?
No, I didn't. I grew up with 5 brothers and 2 sisters. And I grew up running around with them most of the time, trying to keep up with them. I'm the youngest of 8. So it was a little difficult to think that you can just sit here and just read without wanting to know what your older siblings were doing.
Right.
So I didn't read, not that that wasn't something that we were told to do, but you got that chance and you was able to go outside. Out the door I went, right along with them.
Yeah, yeah, and it's different now looking at kids, because like you were talking about going outside, and me, I have 3 sisters, and we played outside like that. Staying in the house was the punishment. You know what I mean? Now I think going outside is the punishment. As weird as that is, you like they're in the, you know, on the phone or playing a video games. Like, no, put that down. Go outside. Oh my, outside. You know,
well, it was different back then. You know, you can go outside and your front door is still open. You know, your mother could stand in the kitchen and see you. You're still outside. You don't have to worry about that front door. But now you're locking it up, shutting windows, and you're just doing about everything. And it is scary to be outside sometimes as a kid. So I do sympathize with them, but I reflect on the life that I had growing up in New York and being able to go outside and come in when the street lights were on or your mother flicking the switch telling you that you need to be in. But it's different. It's a different world now.
Yeah, yeah. How often do you get to go back?
I go back as much as I can, whenever I can. I'm going back next month to see my father for his birthday. Okay. So he'll be celebrating. I hate to tell you, but he'll be celebrating his 91st birthday.
What? Shout out. Okay. Yes, that is good. That is good. Black don't crack. Okay.
No, it don't.
So whenever you go back, different is very different than you remember?
Well, the neighborhood I come from, they just had a reunion there, and I wasn't able to make it, but everybody had grown up. Seemed like the buildings are smaller. People's children are older. The park seemed like it's not as big as it used to be. Some of the rides are not there anymore. We used to call them monkey bars, and they're not there. They're made to look like something different. The pool that was in the park is no longer there. So it is, some of the things are different. When I take my children there, the younger ones, I had to tell them about history, and I see their face like, for real, what's so important about this park? And I tell them the history, and then when they go through the park and I tell them everything, they look and they say, wow, I see what you mean. I said, yeah, this is family here. This is family. I said, this is where it all began for me. So it is different, but it's still the same at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When did you start? I'm assuming that as a younger teenager or something, you started writing. When did you start writing?
No, I started writing about 15 years ago. So if you want to say I was a teenager then, yeah, I'll take that.
So around the time that you left.
Yeah, it was just before I left. I started writing, and it wasn't that I was trying to write a book. I just wrote my feelings and things that I felt. And it started out where it was just something I was writing to God. You know, I figured that, you know, he was a busy person. I'm not the only child he has, and I'm going to write. And when he gets the time, he can flick through these pages and, you know, hear from me directly. And it started out that way, but it didn't end that way.
So like a journal almost. Yeah,
it was somewhat like a journal, but then 911 hit, and there was another reason why we moved out of New York, and I say sometimes landed here, but we came here to Maryland. And I wanted my grandchildren to know about me. I didn't have them at the time, but I said, if there's anybody that's going to know about me, that can tell them about me, that's going to be me. So I wrote the book, and it's called In My Mother's House. And I wanted them to know all the things that happened in my mother's house. So I wrote it and I put it out, and I said, this is not going to be published. I'm just going to send it out and see what happens. And it was self-published through Ex Libris. And it came back, and when I showed my children, I said, look, I have something to show you. And I showed them my picture was on the front. And yeah, I bragged a little bit. I had my bragging rights. And we were excited. We were really excited that I had my picture on the book. That's what they were looking at. I was thinking about the words that was in it, but they were like, mommy's on the front cover. But they were really happy, and I was really happy.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit more about the process.
Okay.
How did you do it?
One day at a time, writing what I felt. I remember speaking with a professor at Morgan State University, and she had told me that you write like you talk. And I first felt insulted, like I write like I talk, and say.
So she said, like you write like you talk, like she was critiquing you.
Right. And at that time, I wasn't taking it like that. I was taking it like, oh, she got a lot of nerves telling me I write like I talk. But when I finished the book and I finished her course, I learned a lot. And I said she was right. I did write like I talked. And I needed to correct that, because that's not what message I'm trying to deliver. You know, I do want people to understand where I came from, what my life was like. It was a memoir, and it was about me. And I needed to get that across. I didn't want to be that angry person talking. I wanted them to understand and get to know me. So I took more classes at Morgan and graduated from Morgan State. And I learned that I don't have to write like I talk. I can write like I feel. And that's what I did.
So I guess for other people that may have this challenge, if I can use that word, how do you get to the point where you're not writing like you talk, as you're saying, but more so from the soul? How do they make that separation?
I separated the problem from the person, and the problem was me doing what I wanted to do in the way that I wanted to do it without thinking that other people will be reading it. And the person was me. So I was the problem in the person. So I had to separate both. And I wrote and I put it down and I walked away. And I came back and I looked at it in a different way, through a different lens, as the reader, not just the writer. So I was able to do it that way, and it worked for me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you were able to. I mean, I like how you articulated that. So what is next for you as far as your writing? Is this your only book?
No, I've written 3 children's books. The first one was She Named Me Stacy. The second one is A Temporary Home for Stacy. And the third one is Stacy F. My Forever Mommy. And those books talk about the journey of Stacy through the foster care system.
Oh my. Okay. See, she got serious on me. She got serious on me. Okay, so Stacy Stacy's based on a real person.
Stacy is real.
Okay, I know it. I know it. Her name just kept coming up, and so a lot of people can identify with Stacy, I'm sure.
Right. The book was written for children who are going through the foster care system and they don't understand the system. And it could be very scary, but at the same time, it's also for the foster adoptive parents who don't understand the process as well. You have social workers involved, you have attorneys involved, you have to go to court, you have biological families involved, you have different types of doctors that's involved, and they don't understand the process. So I made it in a way where a foster parent can explain the story, that child's journey through foster care, through this book. And it also tells children who are foster children that you can have the same life as anybody else. Just because you're in foster care and you're temporarily separated from your family, it doesn't mean that life is over for you. So I made it a fun book for them to read, for both parties to understand the process. And it worked for me. It worked with the children that I have because I'm also a foster parent. I'm a foster mother. I'm an adoptive mother, a biological mother, grandmother, godmother. I'm the mother of all mothers, except the mother, and you just shut your mouth on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask how you had so much knowledge on the foster care system, but you answered.
Yeah, I'm also a caseworker. You know, I started in New York working with the Center for Children and Families. When I got here, I worked with Kennedy Krieger in this options part-time, and now I work with children aging out of care. And at the time that I started, I didn't even know that I was a teen mom. You know, I never gave birth, but I was a teen mother, and that was with me taking on care and custody of my niece. So that's what started the journey. I'm the biological mother of 3 children, but in total, I have 12 children. So I have my dozen.
So so you said that you've had kids, foster kids yourself. So you talked about the aging out. So what age is that? Is that 18 or is that 21?
Well, every state is different. The state of Maryland, it's 21. In other states, it could be 18 years of age that the youth will age out of care. They can age out at 18 in this state if they decide to sign themselves out. But I wouldn't recommend they do that. I would recommend that they continue to get the support that they need until they're 21 when they can age out of care. We have children of our own that living with us, with parents, and we have children that's 25 and 26 still living with their parents. They're not aging out of their parents' home, so I would recommend that they stay until they're 21 to get all the services that they need.
What is the relationship like after, say when they're like 25 and they're gone from your house, you specifically? Do the kids still stay in touch, or is it like, kind of graduate?
The children that I have, it's a unique situation. I have them from age 4 to 40. My youngest is 4 and the oldest is 40. So I stay in contact with them because these are relatives' children.
Okay.
So it made it a little easier in that process, but it's kind of hard to take on relatives' children because of different ways of doing things and involvement. But at the end of the day, it's about the kids and it's what's in the best interest of them.
Yeah, definitely commend you for that. I gotta commend you for that. Just I have to, because I as I said, I have 3 sisters, I have nieces and nephews, and I just don't know if I could do that. I don't know.
You can do it. You can do it. To become a foster parent, there's training, there's support systems, there's a whole network out there to help. And I started with this. I tell people that, there was a time that they took our kids and put them on the back of wagons and they sold them and we couldn't do anything about it. Well, now our children are being placed in care and there's a whole system out there just waiting for us to go get our kids. They don't know where everybody is, but you know where your local Department of Social Services is. Give them your information. They'll do the background, they'll check it out. And if everything pans out to the way it's going to be, they'll contact you and let you know, yeah, your relative is in here and we would like for you to be that resource parent for your relative. They don't want to keep your kids. They do want you to come get your relative's children. And there's other children that may not be related to you that they're waiting for loving and supportive families to come get the kids.
Well said. Well said. Is this an expensive process to become a foster parent?
No, and it's not about the money. It's not about the money on either end. It's not about the money with doing it to become the foster parent or an adopted parent. And it's not about the money when you get subsidies for to help with the children.
Right.
So for me, I started out with just me. No assistance, and I was one of those people that didn't want the Department of Social Services involved, right. Afraid of that taboo that,
New York. It was your New York stuff, yeah.
So, you think it's just a New York thing.
That New York stuff, yeah.
Well, that's the way I felt at that time, listening to Miss So-and-so who I thought knew everything, but that's not the case. They're not in your business in that way, but they help you get the business job of it done, and that's to place the children in a loving and foster home.
Well, that's very good. And like I said, commendable for you. And you've articulated very well. I kind of changed my thoughts a little bit.
About me because I'm from New York?
No. I still have all those same thoughts.
So is it really, let me ask you a question. I'm going to put it on you now.
Okay.
Is it really something between New York and Baltimore?
No.
Please tell me what it is because I don't know.
It's Baltimore and DC. That's
okay.
That's where the beef is.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's where the beef is.
Thank you. So we cleared it up. It's nothing between Baltimore and New York besides
I will
New
tell
Jersey
you what
and
it
Delaware.
is. I'll tell you what it is, though. And a lot of people here may not want to admit this, but Baltimore wants to be like New York. This is like a baby. We look at this as like baby New York, right? So they try to pattern things after New York. DC is just. They're just Bammers. That's it. They're just Bammers in DC. So it's not a beef, but I will say this.
Right.
Before, I don't want to let y'all all the way off the hook. The problem comes is that when people from New York come here, they kind of have a chip on their shoulder. And they think they all that can cause problems.
So we don't want to have the chip on the shoulder.
Yes.
So first of all, we're trying to understand your language.
Right.
Because when I came in, somebody was saying, go get Doug. I'm thinking they talking about a person. They talking about a dog.
Right.
So we're not trying to go there with Doug.
Right. And it could be a hot Doug.
Right.
Yeah.
What really got me was the half and half.
Okay.
I'm going into a store asking for, tea with some women, and they talk about it.
That's what you said?
Yeah, and they said, you want half and half. I said, if I want a half and half, I'll go to the supermarket to get some half and half. But I want some tea with them, and they were talking about no. Yeah. And I was almost afraid to ask for some chicken wings with French fries, and they were talking about a chicken box. I don't want a box of chicken. Yeah. I want some chicken wings and French fries, and I said, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I just knew it was going to be a problem.
Yeah, so you had the learning curve there.
They need to give you a book to come into this state.
We probably could.
They really do.
Because Baltimore is a very unique place because there's a lot of slang here. People talk with slang heavy here. And we don't even realize
it really is. I know sometimes I'm probably one of those people that had that chip and probably still walk around with it. But when I go through certain parts, especially of Baltimore City, I see the historic side of it.
Yeah.
And that's me. I'm old school. I'm looking with amazement and I wonder, what was it? what happened? How did it get to this place? So I think I'm the type that go really deep with it. I want to know what happened. There's a story behind that building.
And there's somebody on every corner that knows.
Yeah, I believe that.
Everybody knows everything around
I
here.
believe that.
So you did have a culture shock, so to speak. Is it slower here?
I cried for the first 6 months because I thought where I was living at, I thought I was in Compton.
Where did you live?
I lived on look at me. I was on Aruna. I lived on Aruna.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
Well, and you from Baltimore?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna go there with you.
What is
It's over.
Give me the
west
major
side.
Street. Okay. I know the west side.
Edmondson and Route 40.
Okay.
Going up towards Edmondson, it's the little street in the back. It's Aruna.
Oh, Aruna. Okay. I don't know.
It's Aruna, Arunah.
Okay, that's not. It wasn't. Okay, Compton. You know where Compton is in Baltimore?
Yeah, no.
No.
Man,
Compton
that's
in Baltimore.
it was
Cherry
shots
Hill.
everywhere.
Cherry Hill is Compton. Okay.
Well,
I've been in Compton 4 times in my life. 4. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, you go over there at the time that I moved here, and that's what I felt like. It was shots, helicopters, everything was going on. That was the first week.
Yeah. I mean, it was still warm outside. That's about right. Yeah. But New York could be much worse.
New York, yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say that it is.
It's slow here.
It is. But where I grew up at, it wasn't like that. It was really home. They were large families, large homes. The average family had maybe 5 or 6 kids, and that was average. You know, we had people around the corners had 10 kids, people across the street, 6 kids, 12 kids. Everybody was family. Everybody knew the family name. You couldn't go any place without knowing my family name.
Right.
And it was just a special place to be.
There was somebody on the corner that could tell you to go in the house and you would listen to them.
Oh yeah. If you were sitting on the back of the bus and you was being rowdy and saying things you shouldn't say, you know, Miss So-and-so got off that bus and you just know what was going to happen when you get around the corner. Miss So-and-so brought you home, you was getting it twice. You was getting it from Miss So-and-so and you was getting it from your mother. Yeah. And then you going to get it again that night because Miss So-and-so knew that was your mother. And, you know, she was going to tell other people. So your mother was going to be embarrassed. So you got it again. Right. But see, I was a good girl, so I didn't get that. What's that stuff.
You talking about other people that happened to you, right? What was your first job?
Wow, my first job. My first job was when I was 8 months old, and I say that.
What you talking about, Black Diamond?
My first job was being an aunt. I was an aunt at 8 months old, and my real first job was being a mother. That was a job. I took that on when I was 17 and I was in high school, and that was with my niece. But a paid job with cash.
Yes.
I was working with Social Security, and that was my first job. And I learned a lot about people, and I learned a lot about a system that was actually put in place to help people. And I think that's where I wind up being in a place where I wind up helping people.
Right. Right. And so I guess you kind of answered this, but something that you would take from that job that you apply now.
I would say helping people. That's where I'm at. Always trying to help. Learning that from my mother and my aunts and uncles. My mother is number 14 of 16 children, and she's the last one left. And she'll be 92 in February. So I learned that value from her. So it's longevity in my family. Yeah, clearly.
And so shifting gears just for a moment, and I know we have to go. The election is upon us, depending on when people hear this. Trump, Clinton. What do you thought? I mean, so you're from New York, so you're voting for Trump, obviously.
Okay. Didn't you say Barack was on the ballot too?
That would be nice. Did you see? Okay. They had this meme that was Barack Obama with a mustache, and they said they had a third-party candidate, and they changed his name around. So it was funny. So if you could vote for him, you would, obviously. But
if I could say anything, it would probably be, at this point, none of the above, because I have a problem with a person who don't know whether they want to play with trains or build them, or one who wants to run and say, "Look, mommy, I have the next piece in the Monopoly game." And that's what I feel with one of the candidates. The other candidate, I just need to know a little bit more about where they're headed and what's going on. And I have questions, but they may never be answered. But There's a little searching there that I need to do with the two candidates that's there, but I'm pretty sure where I know one of my votes will not be going, and I'm going to scratch my head for that one. So you see me moving something up here, so you know.
So your decision is not made.
My decision is made, but it's not something I'm going to broadcast right now.
I understand that. I understand that.
I know that I think the right decision will be made.
So the right person is going to win.
Yes, I think she will.
Okay. All right, that's good. I can read between the lines on that. How can people find out more about you, get your books?
I'm on Facebook under author Blaque Diamond. Blaque is spelled BLAQUE Diamond. You can also go through Amazon and Ex Libris. I have ebooks through Ex Libris, and also blackediamond.net. Blaque Diamond spelled again BLAQUE Diamond.net.
And you're going to be at the Office Expo.
Yes.
October 15th.
This will be my third year with
Morgan
the
State.
American.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm going home.
Right. How
back
about
to
that?
Morgan State.
How about that? And whoever you took the class with, are they still there at the university?
The professors?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's home.
Okay.
That's home. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I ran into my favorite social work department. Yes, I want to shout out School of Social Work, and I just love everybody in that department. They're still there, and it's headed by Dr. McFadden, and I just love her.
Wonderful. So I'm going to get a chance to see you, and we're going to be broadcasting. We're going to be streaming live from there. So we're going to have some shows there. So I encourage you to stop past the table. But we're going to have people pulling people away from their booths, hopefully over to the table. So I'm going to be hosting. So I'm going to see you there as well.
Yes, you will.
So don't be on your New York stuff and acting
no, it's going to be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Go Bears and New York.
Absolutely. So that is good. It's a wonderful event, and so we're going to be there streaming live. And I definitely want to thank you for coming through.
Thank you. And, I enjoyed myself, and I really appreciate you for having me here.
Absolutely. One thing I definitely want to say about my two guests today. So these ladies are punctual, and they are early, right? And so like early, like when I say early, I mean like 45 minutes early. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm the exact opposite of Earth. I'm working on that. It's been on my New Year's resolution list for several years. More than that. Yeah.
You got to get it done. You got to be early. You don't know what you're going to walk into. So that's
right.
The New York part.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're always prepared. Well, right. I guess I try to be.
Yeah. She came in. She cased the joint out.
That's right.
It's like, all right.
Never know.
I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna be honest. I want to see where I was gonna be, but I'm gonna be outside. So me, I'm the exact opposite. I'm really laid back, and I think I'm so laid back sometimes it throws people off, and they mistake it for nonchalance on my part. But so I got to work on that. But I flipped the switch. I tried to flip the switch, and it's on.
Good. It's good with me.
All right. So I definitely once again thank you for coming through. Books on Amazon and on your website and all that good stuff. So you're active on social media?
I try to be.
You try to be.
I'm on there. I think I can do my thing on there. Go through. I read things. I answer them myself.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to talk for me.
Right.
I can do that myself. And I try to get back to everyone. I try not. I'm sitting up late at night, just going through it. If I don't get back to you right away, I'll get back to you before the end of the week, and it'll be a story. Because when I say I write, I write.
That is good. Okay, so we are going to take a break and go back in the mix. So stay tuned, y'all.